Hey everybody, Mike Shoesmith here. You know, last week I was listening to the 1 hour interview with Ted Cruz on Sean Hannity's Fox News show. And when asked about the immigration problem in America, Ted Cruz said, listen, Sean, we are a melting pot here. He said, look, I am a Cuban, Irish, Italian, raised in Texas. Now, why did he say, because what he was about to say was this. Listen, Sean, I am a Cuban, Irish, Italian, born in Canada, raised in Texas. That was going to be his illustration of the melting pot, right? But he caught himself, and you guys can go back and listen to the show if you can find it on YouTube or wherever. He stopped himself because he knows this is a problem. Being born in Canada with a Canadian birth certificate, having the necessity of renouncing your Canadian citizenship is a problem. So he caught himself knowing it's a problem, and proceeded to say, raised in Texas. And what I'm about to let you guys listen to here is last week's Freedom Friday with Carl Gallups. Carl and myself and Dr. Grace Woto had a discussion a detailed discussion about the problems of Ted Cruz being president of the United States. Now, we're not bashing Ted Cruz. If he was eligible, then we would have no problem endorsing him for president. He speaks all the right words, he knows all the right talking points, and he understands the existential threat facing America in this day. He gets it. But is he the man for the job? Does he have to be president? Can he be president? Should he be president? In spite of all that we know, that is the question facing us today. Listen to myself, Carl and I talk briefly about it, and then Carl and Dr. Grace Woto speak more at length about it. And this is very interesting, folks. Give it a listen, and then we'll talk to you guys.
All right, welcome back, America. So glad you're with us. Freedom Friday, and you've just stepped into the Oval Office. Kick back, take off your shoes, relax. Mike Shoesmith, my guest. Thanks for hanging on, Mike. We've only got a few minutes left.
Hey, Carl, I've been noticing some shocking connections I have, as well as other people, between Barack Obama and Ted Cruz. I mean, I'm not sure people are aware of all this, these amazing links between the two guys.
Well, you know, Mike, I'm not sure either. And as a matter of fact, you know, I'm sure others made this observation before I did. I was the first one to hear anybody say anything about it. I heard myself say something about it. But I mean, you know, I listen to talk radio. I'm all over the internet. I didn't hear anybody say anything about this till I said it, but I'm sure others did. I'm just saying that few people are talking about this connection. Now think about it. Here's Ted Cruz and Barack Obama. Listen to this, folks. Both of them were in the Senate for just a couple of years before they ran for president, and that's it. Okay? Both of them graduates of Harvard Law School. Both of them on the Harvard debate team. Both of them claim mothers who were born in the United States. Both of them claim their fathers were not born in the United States. Both of them have, well, Ted Cruz, it's a fact. We've got the documentation. He was born in Canada. Right. Barack Obama, we truly don't know where he was born. And I know you're a birther. Well, please, somebody call and give me hard copy, paper evidence of where he was born. Give me a hospital anywhere in the United States that claims his birth officially, legally, on paper. We'll put up a monument or a plaque. Tell me why the governor of Hawaii said he would get his birth certificate and show it to the world, but could not do it. Don't point to a digital copy that's a proven fraudulent forgery on the internet and say that's your proof. That's not proof. Don't point to birth announcements in a newspaper. That has been debunked over and over, lawfully and legally, out of Hawaii. So the deal is, right now, it could be that Barack Obama was born in the United States, but we don't know. We don't know that. So if you'll think about it, both of them were two-year senators, both of them from Harvard, both of them say mothers born in U.S., fathers not, which, by the way, they are not natural-born citizens because their fathers were not citizens at the time of birth. Now, in case you dispute me on that, listeners, I refer you to the latest ruling on that, the Senate Investigative Committee, upon which Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton sat in 2008 investigating John McCain, and the Senate has the authority to do this unless the Supreme Court were to overrule them with a decision, and they have not. So they interpreted The Constitution and the Declaration of Natural Born Citizen, they interpreted the definition of natural born as, and I'm telling you, it says it in Senate Resolution 511. You can read it on the internet, that we find that John McCain is in standards of the qualifications of natural born, in that he was born on American soil, Panama Canal Zone military, and at the time of birth, both of his parents were American citizens. That's what the Senate said in 2008 for the definition of natural born. Barack Obama agreed and Hillary Clinton agreed. So by Barack Obama's own admission with a fake birth certificate, his father was not born here.
Right.
By Ted Cruz's own admission, his father was not born here. Now here's the amazing connection I've made. NPR, MSNBC, and other mainstream media, they are declaring that Ted Cruz is a natural-born citizen because, quote, his mother was a citizen at the time of his birth, so nothing else matters.
Right.
Gee, do you think these liberals are propping up one of the most conservative candidates since Ronald Reagan for the sake of vindicating their man when it is finally exposed that he was not born here? But they so desperately want people to say, yes, Ted Cruz is natural born. He wants us right people. He wants us on the right. He wants us Tea Partiers. They want us to say that so they can say, well, see, you can't put our man in prison. You can't do anything to him because he has the same qualifications. I'm telling you, Mike, that's what this is about.
Well, and the only one really speaking to this is Donald Trump. He announced on Greta Van Susteren recently that he is running for president. He has teams on the ground in multiple states. And he's running for president. And he said, "Look, we've been told our whole lives you have to have both here. You have to be an American, born on American soil." And Ted Cruz has a Canadian birth certificate. I have a copy of his birth certificate.
Yeah.
And Ted Cruz knows this is a problem, by the way.
Yeah, it's a fraud, an attempted fraud on the American people. One more time, Mike. One more time, they're trying to do it, and we're not going to fall for it. All right, America, we are back, and you are back, and Dr. Grace is back. And Dr. Grace, we were talking about that we were teasing the audience that we were going to come back with this Ted Cruz, eligibility issue and how that ties into Obama, and I think a nefarious ploy going on, perhaps even a plot, dare I say conspiracy theory. Go ahead.
Well, the big news of the week is that Ted Cruz is the first Republican to announce that he will run for president. And, Carl, I got to be honest with you, here in the Northeast and around much of the country, it is electrifying the base of the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So most people are absolutely thrilled, and I know why they like him. I mean, he's taken a great stand against Obama and against the entire agenda of the Democratic Party. He has been true to his word. He's also a person that used to be the Solicitor General, and he's taken of Texas, and he's taken many cases all the way to Supreme Court, defending Christian and conservative values. So there's a lot to like about him. He's an unabashed patriot. He's bold, he's brave, and he's really, really, really smart. Now, having said all of that, I'm going to say on my own show tomorrow what I'm going to say today, which is that we used to have a standard when it came to assessing, is a person eligible? Now, I'm talking about somebody that I really like here, right?
Oh, yeah, I know, me too.
Someone that I overall like.
Right.
We used to have a standard that in order to be considered a natural-born citizen, you have to have an American mother and an American father.
And be born on American soil.
And be born on American soil.
And that can be a military base, but you, as Senate Resolution 511 showed us in 2008 by the Senate committee. But you're right; those are the qualifications.
Now, throughout the entire presidency of Barack Obama, the media and many legal scholars too have come out and have said, you know what? The courts have ruled otherwise.
Well,
the definition of natural-born citizen is simply that you are given citizenship at birth to be an American without having gone through a naturalization process.
Yeah, but that's not true.
So,
that's
with
not
that
true.
definition, which now the media, if you look this up, it's everywhere in the media.
I know, but
with that definition,
false.
They're arguing, even if you're born on foreign soil, if you have one parent that is an American citizen, then you would qualify as natural born, and hence you're eligible.
Yeah, and Grace, I contend, I'm telling you, Grace, I promise you, They're doing this because they know very soon it's going to be outed that Barack Obama was not born on American soil. And I want to remind you and the listeners, there's not a hospital in this nation that claims his birth officially. Nobody will put it in writing. The past governor of Hawaii promised when he ran for office that he would produce a hard copy paper birth certificate to prove the birther's wrong. Not only did he not, but eventually had to admit he could not produce it. So you've got those things. Then you've got the fact that the thing that he did produce and put on the White House website is a proven, documented fabrication forgery. Nobody knows where this man comes from, at least publicly. There are people who know. And when it is...
And on top of it, Carl, don't forget, and the one woman who certified that forged certificate is legitimate wound up dead in a plane crash that nobody can explain.
Yeah, the only one that died. And don't forget...
The only one that died,
don't forget,
exactly.
Don't forget, Hillary Clinton was the first birther. She got blasted by the Democrats and the media when she announced she was the very first one in America to publicly announce he's not from here, and I've got the proof he's not eligible. And then she was immediately strangled by the DNC, and the next thing you know, she winds up Secretary of State after she has closed-door meetings with Barack Obama, who then was catching her in the polls when they were running for president. She was the first birther. So you've got all of that. But here's the deal. For people who say, Grace, that, well, the courts have ruled and you don't have to be born on American soil, hogwash. The latest legal ruling by a body who has constitutional authority to do so came from the Senate in 2008. Barack Obama signed it. Hillary Clinton signed it. They were both sitting senators at the time. It was an investigation on John McCain's eligibility, and they determined, we therefore find that John McCain is eligible based upon the fact, number one, he was born on U.S. soil, Panama Canal Zone military base, and number two, both of his parents were citizens at the time of his birth. That is in Senate Resolution 511. That's never been trumped by a court case. The latest legal definition by a body who constitutionally has the authority to do so is Senate Resolution 511. So these media people who are saying otherwise, they're full of bunk. They're wrong.
Right. At the reports, if you read the reports, they're saying, well, there's a lot of ambiguity there because a case like this has never gone all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Doesn't have to.
That's what you're seeing right there in a lot of the media reports.
Yeah, it doesn't have to, though. The Senate ruled on it, and they've got that authority to do that.
Right. Well, you know what, Carl? Right now, you've got a lot of conservatives who are making this point. If it was good enough for Barack Obama, it's now going to be a standard that's good enough for Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio.
Oh, I know. I know. But I'm telling you, Grace, the reason the media, they hate Ted Cruz. By the way, I love almost everything Ted Cruz stands for. And if it comes between Ted Cruz and Hillary Clinton, I'm pulling the button for Ted Cruz. Legal or not legal. I mean, we've got to have some change in this nation. But I'm telling you, Grace, the reason the liberal media is shouting this from the rooftops because they know their man was not born on American soil and there could be a criminal case involved here, and they don't want to see him suffer consequences even after he's out of office. So they're trying to make the case, and they want us on the right to say, yeah, Cruz is eligible. And then when it comes out Obama wasn't born on American soil, they can say, wait, he's got the same qualifications Cruz does. Obama's mom.
Very interesting analysis.
No, that's what's happening.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why do you think the founding fathers, according to my interpretation, your interpretation, thought that it was extremely important?
I know why.
That both parents of the future president of the United States be American citizens.
Yeah, I know why.
Why is that so important? I just want to throw that out.
Yeah,
Answer the question for the audience. Why is that so important?
And you know why, and I know why. I've read their letters, and you've read the letters of the Founding Fathers. They were concerned about a U.S. president having and they were concerned about foreign powers usurping the office of commander-in-chief for the purpose of destroying America, the very thing we're seeing happening right now by a man who has no birth certificate that he can proffer to the American people.
Well, you know what, Carl? It is a really important standard, and I'm talking about somebody who is going through the naturalization process. I'm talking about someone who myself as a grateful Canadian to be welcomed on these shores. Is my deepest hope that Americans uphold the standard that in order to be President of the United States, you should have a mother and a father who were born here, as well as obviously being born in this country. And it doesn't even have to be the reason that, as we saw with Barack Obama, was clearly turning American foreign policy upside down to the advantage of foreigners. It doesn't even have to go that far. Do you know what? Somebody like Ted Cruz, who is obviously a patriot, he's the opposite of Obama. I do not think he will do anything to harm this country. But he does have a Cuban father, which means that for so much of his life, there was a foreign culture in which he was raised.
Yes.
And even if you put the most benign explanation on that, is that what we want to represent this country?
Yeah, no.
That the future leader of a country be so profoundly influenced by a foreign culture, whether that culture be Kenya or whether that culture be Cuba or whether that culture be Canada? Is that what we want?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. You've nailed it, Dr. Grace.